Hello guys, Sold here. If it sounds like my voice has been through a blender, that's because it has. Basically, allergy season hit me like an absolute brick. The type of brick that when you Google the symptoms, it says that your symptoms are very severe. But do not worry, after successfully overdosing on Claritin, I am back and making a video anyway. If you want to make me feel better, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is scientifically proven to help me feel better. Do not question it, just do it. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking over my entire experience with teams, which is going to be pretty exciting because I've been on a lot of interesting teams throughout the years, and I'm so excited to share my whole team experience with you guys. Again, if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and if you're buying anything from the Epic Games or Fortnite stores, make sure to use code SoldToGaming. And without farther ado, let's get into this video. Okay guys, first of all, to the best of my knowledge, to the maximum of my memory, the first team I was ever on was called Cow, or that was at least the tag for it. And this team was an interesting team, mainly just because it was the first ever team I was on. And now, this was back when teams cost like 5 million, or was it 2 million, somewhere in there to make. So there was a lot less teams, and this was before seasons too, so it's not like people are getting millions of dollars throughout the season. No, it literally cost, like, it was quite expensive to make a team for the casual player, so there's a lot less teams, and it was actually, like, quite common to find tons and tons of people that weren't on teams, because teams were actually a lot rarer to make because they were more expensive. Now they're really cheap and there's teams everywhere, but back then teams were a little rarer when I first started playing this game, and that's when I first started joining Team Cow. Now, it was kind of rare to be invited to a team too, because again, there was less, and so when I got invited to this team, this was back before I was even significant in the Nitro type community at all whatsoever. I was kind of just playing the game casually, didn't even really know there was a community at all whatsoever. So I was kind of just playing this game. And anyway, Team Cow was like big for me at the time because I kind of started playing Nitro type, and someone actually invited me to their team, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a part of a Nitro type team. So I joined Team Cow, and I was on this team for actually quite a bit. I'm pretty sure it hit the top 100 leaderboards, which was actually really big for me at the time because I was like, oh my gosh, we've got a top 100 team. It mainly rotated between top like 110 and top 100, and this was big for me because I was like, we're on the leaderboard, how cool is that? So yeah, I think it made like the number 100 spot like once, so it was on the leaderboard once, and that was such a big deal for me at the time. I was like, oh my gosh, let's go, we've got a team on the leaderboard. Even though I wasn't like an officer or anything like that, I was literally just like grinding out more races just to try and get the team on the leaderboard. It was a really casual team, it was not well done. Anyway, at a certain point, the team just kind of went really inactive, and like the captains kind of just stopped playing the officers. So then I just, at a certain point, decided to leave because it was falling to like the 300 place in the leaderboard and stuff like that, and the team got really inactive. Anyway, I ended up leaving and founding my own team. This new team I called Team Rare. Well, technically the Rare had a 4 for the A because Rare, the tag, was already taken, so I just replaced the A with the 4 because that's kind of what you did. No, yeah, this was like another kind of newbie team. However, this was not supposed to be like a crazy team either. This was supposed to be a team for collectors, because I've had collector's anxiety from a very young age. I've wanted to collect things, and that included Nitro type cars. I still have that problem, but anyway, this team was made for people that have rare cars. Now, at the time, I didn't even really know what rare cars were. I just assumed it was like cars that are from events that are not currently active. So aka at the time, I was like much younger, keep in mind. I was like, if you had the rocket sleigh, I'm like, that's a rare enough car for me. So like, yeah, this was a team Rare. It was meant to be focusing on rare cars and things like that. It was a team for only people with rare cars, not people that were fast, not people that were active, just people with like rare accounts. And I think there's like one person on the team that had like the Dark Elf car, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a rare car. Yeah, it was interesting. Keep in mind I was much younger. But anyway, Team Rare was probably one of my most successful teams to date, and the team that really made the biggest impact as me, because I was the founder of it. I run the message of the day, and this was back when people had statuses too, so like, this was probably the team that really made the biggest impact to introducing me to the team world. Especially a certain member on that team named Pilot. Now, their name was something different at the time, but I remember, like, everyone was inactive except for me and this other team member called Pilot. And I still have them friended to this day just for kind of nostalgia purposes, and they're still active for some reason, which is really weird, because I've never encountered them in the Nitro type community, yet they're still active for, like, 3 years now, which is really crazy. But anyway, Pilot was, like, the only other person on the team that was active and responding to stuff in their status, and I thought that was like so cool at the time. Like, no one else was active. Me and Pilot were kind of buddies, and then Pilot left, and that broke my heart. And then nobody was on the team was active but me, and I ended up disbanding Team Rare. But honestly, this team, Team Rare, because I founded it and everything like that, and I had like a few active members, it probably really introduced me to the team world and showed me what it could be like. And I still love Team Rare to this day, even though it's been disbanded, because it's like, it was, again, one of the teams that made the biggest impact on me. In fact, the first few videos on this channel are from when I was on Team Rare. That team actually lasted probably like a year or something, somewhere from like 2018 to 2019, somewhere around there. But like, the first few videos on this channel are actually from when I was on that team, which is pretty crazy to see. Like, this team, like that team, despite it feeling like forever ago, I was on when I started this channel, so that's pretty crazy as well. After disbanding Team Rare, I decided that I would try and go for something on the leaderboards, a big team, you know? I had been on like these casual teams the entire time, and I had a little bit of time on my hands, so knew I could grind, so I decided to go for a competitive team. The team I chose and applied and actually got into was Team Nate, which another NT YouTuber a lot of you guys know actually ran. It was Team Nate. It was like top 10 on the leaderboards at the time, and I decided to apply and I got accepted, and that's when I started picking up my races, doing like 40 races a day to actually make sure I was qualified for the team. It only lasted for like a month because I couldn't keep up that much racing. I've been a casual player, I just can't do that. However, this was a team I was actually like on the top leaderboards with, which was pretty crazy. I was on a top 10 team for like a month, Team Nate, doing races, and I have to huge thanks to that team, because that really introduced me to the Nitro type community. Before that, I wasn't much in the Nitro type community at all whatsoever. However, learning that there was other Nitro type YouTubers like Nate really helped me out and let me join the community, which is actually the reason why the first like YouTuber custom car I ever made was actually for Nate Dogg, was because like they were a YouTuber and they ran the team I was on at the time, which is pretty cool, and it also gives reasoning for that all there. After leaving Team Nate because I couldn't keep up with the race standard, I decided to join another team, which a lot of the people on that team I'd actually been talking to recently. This team was Nitro YT, or like Nitro type YouTubers, and this was a team made entirely up of YouTubers, which is actually a really cool idea. However, wasn't presented the best and didn't have the best roster. It had a lot of bigger channels at the time, like me, and these were like 500 subscriber people at the time, so I was like at 500 subscribers at the time. I was on that team, like NitroX was on that team, and a few other people like that. However, there was a ton of team drama. I don't want to say any names, but there was a lot of team drama, and along with that, and a lot of the members becoming inactive, a few of them quitting Nitro type YouTube altogether, the team kind of just collapsed, fell in ruin, and was disbanded. However, to this day, it is one of my favorite teams that I was ever on, because this team, Nitro YT, represented a whole bunch of Nitro type YouTubers coming together onto one team, which I thought was really cool, and this is one of my favorite teams I was on to this day. I was on it for a few months, actually, and it was such a cool team, in my opinion, like all these Nitro type YouTubers. It's actually a really good idea, but it had its own Discord server and everything like that. It was a good team. It was a really good team. I loved that team. After Nitro YT disbanded, I didn't join many teams for a bit. I don't know how long it was, but I know I took a break from teams for a while. However, one day I decided to jokingly apply to a few of the top 3 teams, and I guess maybe my name was big enough in the community or something, I have no idea. But anyway, I got accepted to Team NIM, which, like NYM, which was a top 3 team at the time, and it's still to this day is kind of insane to think about that I was on a top 3 team. However, this didn't last that long. I think I was on that for a month, and I was racing. I was trying to keep up with what they said because I was like, top 3 team, I'm gonna make sure I don't get kicked, even though I probably didn't reach the standard. For some reason I was never kicked, and so at a certain point I just stayed on the team for a while, and it was honestly really cool. However, before the season ended, they realized they weren't going to be able to make #1 or something like that, and they just decided to disband the team, which kind of sucked because I was like a really big fan of like the top 3 team, and I really enjoyed being in there. However, it's disbanded. I'm pretty sure they like somebody reformed it later on, but it's kind of a disbanded team. But it's pretty crazy. I was on a top 3 team for like a month, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, that's pretty much my experience of teams on NitroType. Most recently, I joined a NitroType Hubs team for like a month just to mess around, play, and that's kind of what I did. But then I left after a month, but now, and I usually have been, just not on a team. I don't really like joining teams that much. A lot of times there's like drama or like race requirements or something like that, and I'd rather just be a lone wolf kind of. So yeah, I've been thinking of reforming my own team later. Probably not going to reform Team Rare. I'm pretty sure the tag's taken, even the one with the 4. However, I've been thinking about forming my own team recently. Comment your thoughts on that in the comments section below. But yeah, this is pretty much my whole experience with teams. Again, the NitroType Hub team was just something I was on for a month during my break just for fun. But yeah, this is my experience with NitroType teams. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow my NitroType Twitch, which is linked in the description. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Sold out.